At the end of 2020, Alex Albon was dropped from Red Bull as a driver, with his confidence destroyed and his F1 career in shambles. A completely different person than the confident, cheery Williams driver that we see now in the paddock. Since leaving Red Bull to join Williams, Albon's career has been saved, and now is being looked at like he was in 2019, a driver with a lot of pace and huge potential. So let's look at how joining Williams saved Alex Albon's career. During 2020, Alex Albon was coming off an impressive 2019 rookie campaign, with not only Toro Rosso, but with Red Bull's senior team. In 2020, Albon was expected to step up, and at the start of the season it looked like he did, when Albon was in a great position for a race win after a late safety car in a dying lap in the Austrian Grand Prix. But a late collision with Lewis Hamilton caused the Thai driver to spin out and ultimately DNF. Albon couldn't harness that momentum for the rest of the season, and he looked completely lost, except for a few glimpses of pace like in Hungary, Mugello, and Bahrain, but he could never seem to build on it, and that's just not what Red Bull wanted. They wanted someone who could consistently support Verstappen in a title challenge situation. They saw that person as Sergio Perez, and Alex was put to the sidelines for 2021 with a reserve driver role at Red Bull, every now and again testing Red Bull's mule car alongside simulator work, providing feedback which both Helmut Marko and Christian Horner praised. Alex was also paired with Liam Lawson in the DTM series, having a pretty decent campaign, grabbing a few wins and podiums. And Lawson, yeah, I don't know what happened to that guy. I don't remember his season at all. He probably struggled, because I don't remember his season at all. Going through the 2021 F1 season, it really wasn't looking good for Alex's chance for an F1 return. All the seats in both Red Bull and AlphaTauri were being filled, so he started to look elsewhere. He was linked to Edam's Formula E team for a very long time, and even went to an IndyCar race to meet up with some teams to try to put himself in contention for a seat. But very slowly, it seemed as though Alex was chasing F1 seats outside Red Bull's system. After the worst kept secret in F1 was leaked, George Russell going to Mercedes, and Kimi Räikkönen retiring, Alex was linked to both Williams and Alfa Romeo for 2022. Williams seemed like the best option. It just had his good friend George Russell spearheading the team for multiple seasons, and with George putting in a good word for Alex, it seemed as though it was the best place for him. George was later fully announced to join Mercedes, as Valtteri Bottas would be joining Alfa Romeo, so it fit in perfectly for Alex. And a few days later, it was announced that he would be the Williams' second driver alongside Nicholas Latifi. Going into the season, people actually expected this to be a very good matchup. After all, they were teammates in dams in Formula 2, and with Alex being out of F1 for a year, and Latifi having 2 years of Williams experience under his belt, it looked very good. At the first round in Bahrain, Alex looked right on the pace. It showed in qualifying, when Alex took his car to a shot Q2 appearance, and was nearly a second quicker than his teammate. The Grand Prix, however, wouldn't go swimmingly. After a decent start, Alex was up to 11th from 14th, but he forgot he was in a Williams, and dropped down the field, finishing at a pretty decent P13. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix was next, and it could have gone a bit better, with Alex qualifying 17th, but still over a second faster than Latifi. Let's just ignore the fact Latifi crashed, okay? Shh. The Grand Prix then came, and Alex was actually starting 16th, with Mick Schumacher withdrawing after his crash in qualifying. But this would be a bit of a painful race for Williams, being an absolute boat of a car and destroying its tires within a few laps. Alex would actually have a good ending to the Grand Prix, fighting for 11th with, oh god, is that Lance Stroll? And just like that, Alex was out, and it was on to Australia. Qualifying again didn't go very well for Alex, with his car running out of fuel at the end of Q1, and it would mean that Alex would be disqualified and would be starting last, which wasn't really a problem because for some reason he was given a 5th place grid penalty for the contact with Stroll in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. But the race would be absolutely incredible. Alex and Williams did a very unorthodox strategy, starting on hard tires and going 57 laps, with Alex somehow still improving on his in-lap on lap 57. I just said lap like 3 times within 5 seconds. I'm such a good YouTuber. On Alex's in-lap, he was running in P8 and came out of the pits just barely ahead of Guan Yu Zhou to get P10. And there it was, Alex's first point of the season and as a Williams driver. More success would follow in the next few rounds, with the great P11 finish in Imola after Williams decided to bomb his brakes, and Miami would be a struggle in qualifying, only managing P18, but when Miami's absolutely horrendous layout reminded everyone it was still there, chaos followed. Multiple crashes and penalties to cap off the race meant that Alex would finish on track in P10, but after time penalties, he finished P9. Yet another great result to boost both Alex's and Williams' confidence. A string of decent results for Williams followed. Alex got multiple top 12 results, and going into the summer break with Williams, he had confidence that they can get a very good result in Spa and Monza, because the only thing the Williams seemed to be good at was straight line speed. Starting at Monza, it was immediately good. The Williams was perfect, and Alex got into Q3 and would end up qualifying P6, out-qualifying Latifi by almost a second. The race would be decent too, with the Williams being an absolute boat in the corners, but Alex could hold his own on the straights. He crossed the line again to grab a P10 and yet another point for him. Next week in Zandvoort would also be decent, grabbing a P12 finish. But then came Monza, the race where it looked like Alex could get a really good result. Through FP1 and 2, it was still looking good, but on Saturday, Alex would unfortunately discover that he had gotten appendicitis. He was immediately rushed to the hospital and withdrew from the weekend. Nick de Vries would take a seat for the weekend and finished in P9. Thankfully, Alex recovered and was in for the next round in Singapore, but unfortunately, the rest of the season wouldn't go incredibly. The Williams simply wasn't good enough to fight for points, but Alex still dragged it to places it really shouldn't have been. Like in Coda, somehow he got that car into a Q2, or a great P12 in Mexico. They finished off the season in P19 in the championship with 4 points. Alex showed why he deserves a spot in F1, and it's clear that he has much more confidence than he had in his Red Bull days. Obviously, being the president of the Alex Albon fan club, I'm very happy to see him finally showing why he should be here. The move to Williams has obviously taken the pressure off his shoulders and allowed him to drive very impressively. This move has definitely saved Alex's career.